The SNMMI 2023 annual meeting is well underway, where physicians, technologists, pharmacists, laboratory professionals, and scientists convene from all over the world for an in-depth view of the latest research and development in the field of nuclear medicine and molecular imaging, as well as providing insights into practical applications for the clinic. SNMMI TV starts right now. Hello and welcome to SNMMI TV. I'm Dina Baer, and I'm here to share all the latest at this year's SNMMI annual meeting. Stay tuned as we'll continue to have one-on-one conversations with leaders in the field, highlight organizations that are at the forefront of nuclear medicine and molecular imaging. But first, as you may know, the theme of the meeting this year is Eye on the Patient. Well, we had an amazing opportunity to sit down with patient Alan Held to talk through his experience. We've talked a lot at this meeting about science, but ultimately it's the patients who benefit. And I have the great pleasure of being joined by one of them now, Alan Held. Thank you for being here to tell your story.
You're welcome.
So first, talk to me about that initial diagnosis.
Okay, well, the first diagnosis, when you get a call from your oncologist who says your PSA is 52, and then after a scan tells you that you have cancer throughout your body except your organs, but bone, head to toe. It's alarming and scary, and you kind of feel like you're on an island all by yourself, but you have to realize you have a lot to live for, so you have to get busy. Keep an attitude and get busy.
So what did your doctor say, and what did they offer you? Well,
I went outside the box and did some research and actually found nuclear medicine. And so that was a blessing. I'm a believer, so I said, God, open the right door, close the wrong doors. And I was led to nuclear medicine and had the best treatment I could have ever had.
Specifically the PSMA treatment.
Yeah, Theranostics, which PSMA PET scans showed the color, and then we went after it with the Theranostics and the nuclear medicine.
So you had prostate cancer that had spread throughout your body. Most people would have thought, this is the end. And what is your prognosis now?
Cancer-free and living life. I mean, I had at first been told not to do anything because I had it in my neck, and that I could easily break my neck and that'd be it. So 3 treatments, 3 months apart, and the cancer was gone. 6 months later, I was skiing in Tahoe. So it's, and I have to say that also, nutrition is key, faith, nutrition, hope, but a good diet, healthy diet. We all know the old saying, you are what you eat. I'm sorry, it comes back to just those simple phrases that if you eat healthier, keep your body clean, and take nutritional supplements that you know are beneficial, then you're going to be a stronger immune system fighting everything that's going through your body.
I imagine now you want to scream this from the rooftop, because most people, if you said the word Theranostics, wouldn't even know what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't either. And so when I heard about chemo and radiation and heard all the horror stories, because I'm in sales, I talked to a lot of people that have had it, and some of them died afterwards, knowing that there were toxic treatments that weren't the best and not believing that was the way to go. I felt, hey, I gotta look into other things, other avenues, so I can move forward with this in the right way.
I know now within the practice where you were treated, you talk to prospective patients and tell your story. But if you could speak to a larger audience of men who might be diagnosed with prostate cancer or others who might have cancers that have spread, what would you say?
I would say keep your fight up and look into finding a nuclear medicine oncologist that's going to lead you in the right treatment for your problem. And it's going to be the most non-invasive, healthy treatment that won't cause side effects. I had none. I went in healthy, had the treatment, and came out healthier. And my body I had no bone pain. I had nothing. And I've talked to several patients of my nuclear oncologist, Dr. Amigel, and he refers them to call me to talk to me about what I do. And so I'm always happy to help all those men. And like you said, I want to shout from the rooftop, hey, this is what you need to do. Get in order. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be exciting. You're going to meet and appreciate a lot of other spirits around you and men that need your help.
Well, you are an inspiration, truly. Congratulations on your success and your health.
Thank you, Dina.
Now we want to hear from you, the attendees, about what's the most interesting research you've learned about so far at the meeting.
I think for me, it's Theranostics and all the new radio tracers that are coming down the pipeline. I'm on the pediatric side, so we don't get as many opportunities for some of these new tracers that are on the adult side, yet it gives me significant hope that we'll be able to figure out ways that we can repurpose them for our needs. And so that's really exciting, and I'm very excited for what's going to happen next for the next 10 years.
I am a graduate student studying production and application on the very basic science end of things. And my perspective of SNMMI, it includes a lot of clinical positions. And there's a gap kind of in the research that's going on between. So I think I've been very interested that there seems to be more communication between the two. So researchers are helping to point out to clinicians that we need better tools in dosimetry and calibrations, better imaging, things like that. And clinicians are providing feedback on the other. So I think that it's going to help further patient care as the two kind of basic science and clinical research interplay more.
Ongoing trials on actinium, the advantages and disadvantages. Currently, there's a hybrid kind of Theranostics treatment, which is the actinium and the lutetium together, whereby you reduce the dose so that the effect of the salivary glands will be reduced.
I am really interested in the sort of novel tracers or novel therapeutics. At the University of Wisconsin, we focus a lot on radiometal production. So we're seeing, I think, a lot more of that. It's kind of straying away from a lot of the everyday produced tracers and moving more towards like something like cobalt tracers that'll have a theranostic pair, or a session that we were just in was focusing on alpha emitters such as astatine and terbium-149. So those are, I think, up and coming instead of strictly focusing on the actinium production. So yeah, I was really interested in that, and I look forward to learning more about it.
Julie Sutcliffe is here now, the SNMMI Henry Wagner Image of the Year Award recipient. Let me first say congratulations.
Thank you. It's a great honor to receive this award on behalf of our team at UC Davis.
So I just got an opportunity to see the image. So fascinating. I want you to tell me about it.
So the images you're referring to are a panel of images of a patient with metastatic pancreas cancer. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, pancreas cancer is the most lethal cancer, with surgical resection being really the only chance of a cure. Now, unfortunately, most patients present with advanced disease, that is disease that's spread beyond the pancreas to the liver or to the lung. And unfortunately, that's the case in the images you're seeing here. So clearly we need better methods to detect the disease earlier, and we need more effective treatments. So the goal of our team was to develop a theranostic agent. So the gallium agent to detect the disease and a lutetium agent to treat the disease. And there are the images that you're referring to. The images on the left are of the gallium's construct 1 hour after injection into the patient. The images in the middle are 1 day after treatment with the lutetium, so a SPECT image. And then on the right, the whole body planar images. So what you can see is these constructs are excreted through the kidneys, but are rapidly taken into the lesions in the liver. So we can see the lesions, but we can also see that we're treating the lesions.
I feel like this has such significance when we think about treating pancreatic cancer and the limitations that we've had for so many years.
Yeah, I think this is just a great opportunity now to help patients with this devastating disease. You can see that the drug, as you can see in the middle images, the drug is on target. and hopefully, doing the damage with the radioactive isotope that's on there, the lutetium, damaging the tumors, and meanwhile getting excreted from the rest of the body. And we're feeling that we have some hope now for patients.
I think it's so fascinating we talk about this idea, this concept of searching for a cure, but you were able to visualize it.
I don't know that me. The target we're interested in, a cell surface receptor, is on many cancers. Happens to be on pretty much all metastatic pancreas cancer. The target's a cell surface receptor, the integrin alpha beta 6. I'd like to actually take the opportunity to say this panel of images really is 20 years of work by my team, who actually, they didn't identify the target, but they developed the peptide that you're seeing in these images. So I have a great team of chemists who optimize the peptide for better circulation, better targeting, better clearance. So the images really are almost two decades of work that's gone into this.
So when people look at that, in addition to knowing the great dedication that went into it, what else do you want them to see?
Hope for the patients. I hope this just adds to the rapidly evolving landscape of Theranostics. We really are doing precision medicine. We are seeing the disease. Hopefully we're stratifying patients that are more likely to respond to the disease. I think I'd like to actually call out to the chemists there. I'm actually a chemist by training, and I think just be persistent as you're developing your compounds. Really team up with the clinicians to help advance your work to the bench, because we really have a chance now to help a lot of patients.
And that collaboration is critical. Well, Julie, thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Dr. Delphine Chen is here now talking oncology at the meeting, and I know you mentioned you have been through every aspect, every abstract of oncology. Before we talk about those and some of the exciting topics, I want to talk about some of the biggest challenges in oncology, because I think those open the door for the necessary research.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've probably heard some of the very similar themes with access to drugs. So that was a big challenge for us with the approval of lutetium-177 PSMA, Pluvicto. A lot of patients were excited and encouraged, and it provided a lot of hope for patients who were, progressing through a lot of other lines of therapy. Now that I think the access now is shifting in terms of the number of theranostic centers available to provide the treatment. So we have a pipeline of, physicians that are coming through, but I'm not sure it's going to meet our need, and we're all concerned about, do we have enough nuclear medicine physicians going forward? So I think that that's going to be a big call to action for our field, to try to recruit more people into this exciting field of nuclear medicine. I think it's a really awesome career opportunity in all different aspects, not just as a physician, as a nuclear medicine technologist, as a nurse practitioner or mid-level provider, even on the research side. I think there's a lot of opportunity to contribute, and so we're hoping we can really encourage people to join the field.
So you read through a plethora of information. Talk about some of the topics covered.
Some big things. PSMA is obviously a big topic, and we're all looking to optimize how we image prostate cancer. Fibroblast activating protein, targeting that for fibrosis. In addition, there's a lot of work still going on with trying to generate prospective trials. So in nuclear medicine, we are fortunate as a field that we do focus on what is the quality of data that's justifying the use of our agents, and so there are a number of prospective trials that have been published in abstract form here, and hoping to see those converted into manuscripts, because that's really important for us, especially as we grow in the therapy space. We need prospective data, so it's really great to see that centers are looking carefully and trying to now generate prospective data for our imaging agents, now even with our therapy agents. And then we're still seeing great advances in on the AI space, in novel targeted therapies, particularly using alpha therapies.
So does the meeting, all being together like this, help in that vein when you talk about prospective trials and you talk about getting the information out there and being able to use the drugs?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. So I'm so grateful that we're now back in person. We can talk to our collaborators, we can talk to other people, we can share ideas. It's much easier to find out exactly what's going on with the science when you're here and you can talk to the people who are presenting their data.
Every bit of knowledge is power. Doctor, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We're excited about the field of nuclear medicine and where it's headed, and the unique role Siemens Healthineers is playing to shape the field. Siemens has been developing innovations with Theranostics in mind, namely the fastest PET-CT scanners, quantitative SPECT, and increasing patient comfort with flow motion.
At Siemens Healthineers, we provide solutions across the entire Theranostics care pathway, and we're really focusing on our precision oncology tools, such as PETNet, lab diagnostics, molecular imaging, software solutions, and therapy solutions. The goal is to fine-tune and help customers with each of these tools to customize their Theranostics program. I want to talk to you about John's case specifically and how we utilize PET-CT imaging to select him for his treatment. For him, he has prostate cancer, and here you could see the amount of disease that this patient has. And it's really incredible when you start scanning post-treatment, and you can now use SPECT-CT to be able to see how in his sternum it's just disappearing. And these scans are fairly quick, they're only 15 minutes to be able to assess that therapy response. I want to showcase how our tools, we have auto segmentation now, where we can segment the different lesions and the organ, and right here we can actually see the tumor burden decreasing between cycles and really assessing that therapy response.
The Biograph Vision X leverages our Biograph Vision PET-CT platform. This innovation takes that detector electronic assembly and just takes it to the next step. We're always optimizing our technology and looking to improve and enhance its performance. And by looking at the entire imaging chain, we were able to enhance it to achieve this type of performance, this improved 178 picosecond performance. One of the advantages is it enhances small lesion detectability. One of the other aspects, as a customer, you have flexibility to inject lower doses to your patients and to scan faster your acquisitions, and a combination of both. So there's a lot of enhancements and improvements that you can do with time of flight at the clinic.
This year we are celebrating two important milestones. First one is in the Perspective first anniversary. The system has been redefining performance with new standards for SPECT-CT, including an intelligent imaging experience with MyXM Companion, our proven Theranostic solutions, since every single Perspective system is both Theranostics and quantification ready. Our smart fit configuration that helps our customers that are transitioning from SPECT only to SPECT-CT, and the clinical flexibility and versatility of the system. The second milestone is XSPECT's 10th anniversary. XSPECT was introduced at SNMMI 2013, and by leveraging the CT as the frame of reference for the reconstruction, the image quality is improved, and features such as XSPECT Bone and XSPECT Quant are made possible.
I think Theranostics is really changing everything because now it's all really personalized, right? Now we're becoming more specific, and we have to work together, whether it's vendors and physicians and customers, for the community so that we can provide that better patient care and give the patient the best chance to long live life.
We're excited about the field of nuclear medicine and where it's headed in the future, and the unique role Siemens molecular imaging is playing to shape the field.
The Presidential Distinguished Educator Award recipient, Dr. Twyla Bartel, is with me right now. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a big surprise.
That's wonderful. So you can talk about, I know, the challenges and the opportunities in nuclear medicine right now.
Sure. So I was kind of doing the general nuclear medicine's highlights this year. So in that category, I think SPECT-CT is one of our largest opportunities. It's been around for several years, but not everybody is utilizing it. And if the patient's already in the clinic and you've already had other prior imaging and you have a questionable area, it's always very helpful to go ahead and do SPECT CT while the patient is in the department, and that helps as a diagnostic tool. And it helps with patient management. It also probably saves costs because they don't have to go follow up with other imaging and come back later, so it probably saves time too. So I think that's a great opportunity. It's been around for quite a while. You can use several different radiopharmaceuticals, but one of the downfalls is not everybody has a SPECT CT camera. So I hope that this grows in the future and is added on at many institutions. Another downside of that is reimbursement. So there are still some reimbursement issues we have to work through, and that would probably gain a lot of everyone's attention if it could be reimbursed better and utilize it for patient care. So I think that's one big thing that's very important.
And you have a unique opportunity to see some of the highlights here at the meeting. Can you talk about some of those?
Sure. Like I said, I'm kind of overseeing the summary of the general nuclear medicine highlights. So I would say it's kind of like we have so many radiopharmaceuticals in this area. So it's like it can involve any organ in the body, any disease entity. So it's like a hodgepodge of scientific abstracts that have been submitted. But I would say the top categories, it was very interesting, were in infection and inflammation. There are a lot in musculoskeletal also. And so I think that's an area that is growing also, especially with PET CT. Some of the top, I'd say the high volume abstracts were surprisingly regarding rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis. And there are also another radiopharmaceutical that comes to the top of my mind is the FAPI radiopharmaceutical for pediatric patients, and they mentioned that a lot with the rheumatoid arthritis. So I think these are going to be great diagnostic tool using this, and all the abstracts were great. I don't want to pick someone's over the other. They were all great, and we'll just summarize that all at the meeting coming up Tuesday.
When you talk about these opportunities, really from head to toe, whether it be neurology, cardiology, cancer care, and arthritis, and some other really painful conditions.
Right.
What are you most excited about to be part of this field?
What am I most excited about? Well, nowadays it's the opportunity to not only look at imaging, the diagnostic part, but it's also the therapy part. So you can see the patient at the beginning, their disease process, the volume, and then it's just really exciting to be able to also treat them and follow them up. And not all cases are going to have great results, but the majority will, and it's just exciting that we can be part of that, and we can be in charge of seeing the imaging and the therapy and the results.
Marrying the science with that really personal care, I think, is astounding.
Right. And that's one reason I like nuclear medicine in general. I think we have a great personal touch and camaraderie around all of us, and I just love that part of it also. And I think we have good contact, communication with the patients.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again on your award.
Okay, thank you. It was a big surprise.
Joined now by Dr. James Thackeray talking cardiology at the meeting. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
I want to talk specifically about the goals for cardiovascular care when it comes to nuclear medicine.
So I think the evolving way of looking at nuclear cardiology and translational cardiovascular molecular imaging is really seeing how we can bring the image closer to the actual therapy. So the things that we're actually starting to see are new molecular imaging markers that can allow us to look at really early stages of disease and refine how we actually treat those patients using very specific molecular targeted therapies.
So specifically here at the meeting, talk about some of the topics within that realm that are being highlighted here.
So a couple of areas that are particularly exciting are in inflammation imaging, which inflammatory cells invade the damaged region in a wide range of different cardiovascular diseases. And by targeting those cells with the imaging agents, we can actually get an idea of which patients are at greater risk of developing further complications of the disease, and which patients will actually advance to more overt heart failure. The same thing can be said in looking at activated fibroblasts. There's new agents available now looking at fibroblast activation protein, which is upregulated in a transient set of cardiac fibroblasts that actually participate in the active remodeling phase of the heart. So if we can harness this in visualizing which patients have a stronger fibroblast activity, we can then think about ways that we can treat that and prevent the progression of heart failure in those patients.
And it provides opportunity to have patients sort of stop their heart disease from moving forward and really live a more productive and healthy life.
That's correct. I think by identifying, especially when we're talking about new and targeted molecular therapies that are really going to be specific to the individual, who will not necessarily all be the same, then being able to screen which patients will respond to that therapy is really beneficial.
Was there one thing that stands out for you as being most exciting in the field?
I think where we are starting to merge together the imaging and the therapy is really the exciting part. Cardiology has lagged behind a little bit in this. We've spent a lot of time focused on measuring perfusion, which does an excellent job of predicting long-term outcomes, but really doesn't address what we can actually therapeutically modify in the progression of the disease. So as these agents become available, I think we have a better opportunity to intervene in the patients that can really benefit from these new therapeutic interventions.
And make a difference. Dr.
Precisely.
Thackeray, we appreciate your time and your research.
Thank you very much.
The TEAMR trial is an attempt to use imaging agents to get ready for what will be an alpha-emitting therapy trial for melanoma. So we have two different imaging agents we're testing to see if the patients tolerate them, first of all, which shouldn't be a problem, and it wasn't, but also whether or not we can see the melanoma tumors in the patients. So it's a pilot trial. We had 7 patients enrolled, 1 dropped out, so we have 6 during the pandemic. Half of them were positive, which is not far from what we were expecting. So not every melanoma expresses the target that we're going after, but 3 of them were very positive, and there were no side effects, and the imaging background is really low, so I think we have a good therapeutic, and we're going to move forward. The trial that we just completed is an imaging trial, it's a pilot trial, that sets up the dosimetry and everything we need for the therapy trial, which will go live later this year. And so that'll be a multi-center trial, and that's a phase 1/2 trial. So hopefully if that looks good and shows some efficacy, no definite toxicity, we'll jump to the phase 3 after that. It takes time, but the supply chains of lead-212, the distribution, all of that's being built, and I think, I don't anticipate it being slower than other theranostic trials, so you're talking, a few years. With all of these new alpha therapies, when you see the images, you look and say, okay, I can see the tumors, I don't see much background, you can kind of predict, I think this is going to work, and we just have to do the trial to find out. I can't promise anything, but there is hope that this could be potentially either by itself or in combination with immunotherapy or other things, even curative.
Well, that's it for us here in Chicago. We hope you've enjoyed all of our exclusive material at the SNMMI 2023 annual meeting. But don't forget, you can catch our show on televisions throughout the Convention Center, in your hotel room at the Palmer House Hilton and the Marriott Marquis, and of course, online. We'll see you next year in Toronto.